Hi and welcome to Top Not Flop. In this video we will count down the top 10 outstanding action movies that need to be on your watch list. We've chosen mostly non-fantasy action movies, so watch the entire video so you don't miss a single movie. Let's get started. On number 10, The Contractor. Experienced soldier James Harper, who has spent his entire life in the military, is forcibly removed from the U.S. Special Forces. After adjusting to life in a peaceful society, the former Special Forces man must find a way to provide for his native family, and he eventually decides to become an employee of a private military organization, then sets off on a covert mission overseas with a friend. When the mission comes to its conclusion, Harper finds himself in mortal danger as ruthless assassins begin to pursue him. Now the mercenary is forced to evade pursuit and try to understand why, and most importantly, who set him up. On number 9, Last Seen Alive. Will Spann has been at odds with his wife for a long time, and now they are getting a divorce. He is taking his spouse to visit his parents. A stop at a gas station is the deciding factor in this story. Will stepped aside for a while, but when he returned, he noticed that his wife had disappeared. A desperate search failed to yield the desired result. Spann is forced to go to the police. Together they go to his wife's parents in hopes of finding her there. The woman did not make it to her parents either. All his acquaintances and Will himself organize the search. It is him who is under suspicion, because they were going to divorce his wife, and maybe he decided to settle accounts with her. Now it is in the man's interest to find his former wife, and in time he realizes that he gets involved in some dirty and unfair game. How the search for his wife may end, he himself has no idea. However, a series of explosions, gunshots, and murders await him at each new stage. On number 8, Old Henry. Early 20th century, rural America. Single father Henry, grieving for his late wife, leads a quiet, peaceful life on a remote farm with his son. But one day, someone's horse with a bloody saddle wanders onto their land. Henry picks up a wounded rider carrying a whole bag of money. The stranger introduces himself as a sheriff who once witnessed the capture of the legendary Billy the Kid and decided to devote himself to fighting crime. Now he is pursued by a gang of armed robbers disguised as law enforcement officers. Placed between two fires, Henry is trying to protect his son and find out who he can trust. Meanwhile, the goons become convinced that this reclusive, aging farmer is not as simple as he wants to seem. For fans of dark westerns, I suggest watching Old Henry. On number 7, The Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent. Nicolas Cage's acting career is going steadily downhill. He is mired in debt, his daughter hardly speaks to him, but he still hopes to get a role in the new project of Quentin Tarantino. In addition to all of this, Cage begins to appear his version of the 1990s, berating the actor for his roles in cheap movies and for missing opportunities. At this time he receives an offer to play at a birthday party at the Mexican billionaire Pedro Pascal, the price of $1 million. Cage agrees, however just before the fatal day a CIA agent contacts him. He makes an offer to the actor to find out more information about the billionaire. It turns out he has long been on the hook for the CIA drug trafficking case, and now they need some information to put him behind bars. Cage agrees, but his wife and daughter show up at the party itself. In an unexpected twist, they are brought in by the birthday boy himself. Now Cage has to play the most important role in his life in order not to be suspected. On number 6, Red Notice. At the center of the story is an experienced FBI agent named John Hartley. He has made many arrests in his career, and this time he thinks everything will go smoothly. But Hartley is wrong. A global search leads the FBI agent to a daring robbery. As a result of strange events, he is forced to cooperate with the greatest art thief Nolan Booth. The latter behaves rather boldly and eccentrically. He is clearly not afraid of John, and this angers Hartley. Despite their different characters, Booth and Hartley must join their forces in order to catch the most wanted thief in the world. They know nothing about him or her. All they know is that the criminal is called Bishop. When all the heroes cross paths, they go on an amazing journey around the world. They will visit a prison and even a jungle, and they will have to learn how to find common ground. On number 5, Free Guy. In the life of the nameless guy everything is simple, the same coffee in the morning, the same blue shirt and prepared phrases for every occasion. The whole day he spends at work at the bank, while outside the window unfolds fantastic battles with shootings, explosions, and car chases. But this is not his business. All the adventures go to people with black glasses, from which the guy prefers to stay away. Except that one day he falls in love with one of them at first sight. For the sake of the girl of his dreams, Guy also puts on black glasses. He discovers a shocking truth: his whole world is a computer simulation where he's just one of the background elements. And can a deeply minor character claim the lead role in someone else's game? A sci-fi comedy about a revived set of characters in whom love has awakened consciousness and will. On number 4, The Hitman's Bodyguard. Two completely different people find themselves at the center of the plot. One of them is a top-notch bodyguard with incredible experience, track record, and regalia. He is rightly considered one of the best in the world. Our hero uses modern technology, prefers reliable weapons, and tries to make thoughtful decisions with a minimum of risk. The second character is his new client, who is a world-famous hitman with a nasty and extremely unbearable temper. He has dreams of killing dozens, maybe even hundreds, of people around the world. But he does not care, because he has long been used to laugh and has faced danger. Our hero himself would have long ago with pleasure to finish off the client, but the work is the work, and now these two need to find a common language to survive, because wanting to destroy them are plentiful. But it is very difficult to save the skin of a man who goes to the trouble and looks for trouble. And while the bodyguard ponders over how to save his client's life and get out of the situation alive, the psycho killer prefers to deal with the problems by very radical methods. On number 3, Wrath of Man. An action thriller from the king of the crime genre, Guy Ritchie, starring Jason Statham. Patrick Hill is a surly and uncommunicative man who is hired as a security guard at Fortico Security, a small, high-value moving company in Los Angeles. After struggling to pass his driving and shooting tests, Patrick surprises his colleagues and supervisor with his agility and fighting skills when he fends off an attack by armed robbers on the company's armored car. He becomes an example to his partners and earns their trust, but none of them even suspects who Patrick Hill really is and what his goal is. The Wrath of Man is a spectacular remake of the French film Cash Truck that all action movie fans will appreciate. On number 2, No Time to Die. New Times, a new 007 agent in MI6. Now this famous serial number went to the young dark-skinned spy Nomi, and the famous James Bond is resting in Jamaica, moving away from all the affairs and healing the wounds of his soul. His quiet retirement is broken by an old friend from CIA, Felix Leiter, who asks Bond to help with the search for the kidnapped scientist. The safety of a world threatened by an exclusive biological weapon and the most dangerous terrorist, Lucifer Safin, depends on this operation. Nothing can be done. James Bond takes up his old ways again and gets in the way of the world's evil for the last time. On number 1, Nobody. Unremarkable and inconspicuous family man Hatch lives a boring life of an ordinary auditor until one day burglars break into his house, and they would have gotten away with it if they hadn't taken his little daughter's bracelet. Unable to stand it, Hutch goes in search of the rascals, and on the way back gets into a fight with drunken hooligans, molesting the girl on public transport. Waving his fists heartily, our auditor sends troublemakers to the hospital, but it turns out that one of the victims, the brother of an influential Russian gangster, and he is now out for revenge. A film for connoisseurs of energetic action movies with taste and self-irony. Thanks for watching this video, and do subscribe my channel for new update.